Yo, man, what's good, YouTube, man? It's your boy, MickalNaps, aka Snap Pro Boy, man. Today's video, man. We just witnessed one of the greatest seasons of all time, aka Jimmy High Roller. Let's get into it.
I'd be lying if I said we didn't see this
All right,
coming.
man.
A 68-win record-setting team who's been the overwhelming favorite to win the title this season for practically the entire season, winning the title. This is not an underdog story, or one riddled with ups and downs capped off with an improbable rise to glory. But it should have been. One of the youngest teams in the league with relatively little experience aiming for a prize their franchise has only come within reaching distance of once before. Instead, this was a 100-game slaughter, a season of blowouts, absurd margins, awards, and shattered records. A season so dominant that skepticism turned into optimism, which quickly became expectation. And yet the 2025
Now, you're saying Shea did have a great season. He won MVP. He was a scoring leader in the whole NBA. He won Finals MVP. He won the Western Conference MVP. You know what I'm saying?
OKC Thunder didn't just meet those expectations, they obliterated all of them. Because the Thunder aren't just champions, they have now completed one of the greatest seasons of all time. Throughout the history of the NBA, 79 different teams have been crowned champions. 79 teams that beat the odds and achieved basketball immortality. But even among champions, there's an even more exclusive club. Teams that didn't just win a title, but set entirely new standards on what is achievable in a single season. Of these 79 title-winning teams, only 8 of them achieved these 3.
That's crazy. Look at that, man. My Lakers, man. It's kind of crazy how back then, like, teams are, like, named differently, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Teams are named differently, y'all. Like, for real. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Is the lighting good to y'all? Is the lighting good? You just turn that phone and see lighting on. Let me just do this so you can get some good lighting here. Look at this, bro. Every team name had a different name up in here, man. That's crazy.
Key metrics: a net rating of at least 10, an average margin of victory of at least 10, and at least 65 wins throughout the regular season. Those teams are the 71 Bucks, the 72 Lakers, the 92, 96, and 97 Bulls, the 08 Celtics, the 2015 Warriors, and the 2017 Warriors. These 8 teams are basketball royalty. So dominant that winning a championship was more of a victory lap than it was a testament to just how great they were. And without exception, all of these teams are regarded as the greatest teams or single seasons in NBA history. And now, a 9th team has been added to this exclusive club: the 2025 OKC Thunder. But to say they have simply entered this club would actually be an understatement, because throughout the 2025 season, the Thunder finished with the 6th best record of all time, the 2nd highest net rating of all time, and the largest margin of victory in the history of the league. By all measurable accounts, the 2025 Thunder have asserted themselves among some of the greatest seasons in the history of the league. In fact, they weren't just...
They was smoking teams by 10 plus. They was doing. That's crazy. They was sending players by the third quarter. No bullshit.
beating everyone. The Thunder spent the last 9 months completely eviscerating teams. In the NBA, a 20-point victory is cited as a blowout. On 29 different occasions, nearly a third of all of their games this season, the Thunder were up on their opponents by 20 points or more by the end of the third quarter, which means 1 in every 3 games was already deemed a blowout before the fourth quarter even started. As the season progressed, the rapidly approaching realization that this team may just be having one of the greatest seasons of all time became clearer with each monumental beatdown.
Understand, bro, they added it big and they won. All they needed was it big, but they truly need a backup big. They need a backup center for that team. Hudson is a great pickup that they got. They just need a backup center, bro. And they all young, bro. Bro, the whole 75 can play defense. From Shea, William, Shaq, Dort. You know what I'm saying? You got Hartenstein as a great rim protector, great rebounder, great offensive rebounder. You got Shea that can space the floor. You can post up. You can go to the paint. You got Lou Dort. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro. And they bench is nice. They got Watts off the bench. They got Caruso off the bench. You know what I'm saying?
The MVP and
you know
scoring champion, a 23-year-old All-NBA guard by his side. Not one, but two all-defensive juggernauts. A rotation so deep, you'd swear they just subbed in another starting unit. It didn't take an analyst to know we were watching something special. In fact, by the time the playoffs rolled around, a very uncomfortable conversation quickly followed.
They are 4 wins away, Demonze, from one of the single greatest seasons in NBA history.
Like, they've won 79 games between the regular season and the playoffs. They could be as extravagant and arrogant as they wish. They just aren't.
Are we seeing the potential of an all-time great team here?
The NBA should be worried.
Is this team truly one of the greatest teams ever? Or at
They're good, but nobody is worried about these niggas, bro. They're good, but nobody is worried about these niggas. Yes, they good. One thing I can respect about OKC, bro, is they get their talent from the draft. OKC, they rarely trade, but they traded for Shea. They signed Lou Dort. He went undrafted. They drafted William. Bro, they drafted players and they good. They traded Russell. They got anything back from K. They traded Harden. They got a bunch of picks from the Paul George trade. Got a bunch of picks back, and all the picks is right here. You know what I'm saying?
the very least, are they having one of the greatest seasons ever? A dialogue that was routinely and justifiably shot down every time it came up. To even enter that discussion, they first had to win a championship, something that we've seen countless good teams fall short of. But not this one, checking the final box on a season that is now certainly in that rare and exceptional group. But of all the things this Thunder team has in common with the greats that came before it, how they managed to pull it off is what sets them apart. Among the requirements of nearly every championship team are talent, depth, defense, execution, and experience. After all, the one glaring hole in OKC's armor going into the playoffs was their lack of it.
One thing that's sad, bro. One thing that's sad, bro, is the CBA shit is so garbage that we can't even see dynasties no more. Like I was saying on the Warriors because them niggas is winning so much, but once you get older and you realize, bro, dynasties are a must because it's so much story. People hate that team. There's so much story that you can build it. Like, oh, who's gonna beat this team? Well, this team beat this team, and you know what I'm saying? Knock them off or this. You know what I'm saying? Like the dynasties matter. I get it. They're trying to make everybody a playing field, but I feel like dynasties matter. Dynasties is what matters. You know what I'm saying? From the Bulls, from the Lakers. You know what I'm saying? Like those teams from the Showtime Lakers, from the Michael Jordan Bulls winning 6 championships. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want that. I want dynasties back. Even the Warriors, when they was winning, they said, "Ooh, is this team gonna beat the Warriors?" You know what I'm saying? Like, we want dynasties back, but because now for this Thunder team, bro, they can't keep everybody because the new CBA, you can't keep plays like this. So the same thing with the Celtics. Shout out Jay Willis Silly. The same thing with the Celtics. You know what I'm saying? They had to trade away Porzingis and Drew Holiday. They might trade with Derek White or Jaylen Brown. You know what I'm saying? Because the new CBA rule is stupid. You know what I mean?
The regular season and the postseason have become so disconnected in recent years that winning 68 games in historic fashion isn't nearly convincing enough if you haven't proven yourself in the playoffs. And as we all know, the road to a championship usually takes years, with countless casualties along the way. Players coming and going, heartbreak, entire roster identities changing in search for a winning formula. But this team didn't just win it all. They won it way faster than they should have. Over the last 30 seasons, the average age across the NBA is about 26.8 years old. Throughout that same time span, the average age of championship-winning rosters is about 2 years older at 28.8 years old. Championship rosters are usually comprised of players with more experience, they're more battle-tested, and in many cases have spent years falling short of a championship before they finally achieve their ultimate goal. The 2025 Thunder being the exception, with an average roster age of just 24.8 years old. By far, the youngest team to win a title in nearly 50 years. In fact, most championship teams—
reason why is the league is going to where it's young players, athletic players, shit like that. Maybe 1 to 2 veteran players. The league is going to go to where teams are winning when they're young, athletic. They got athletic bigs, athletic wings. That's where the league is going to. That's what teams have to catch up and realize that Thunder's formula is young team. That's what it's going to go to. I'm trying to tell you, the league is going to go to where athletic wings, young teams winning. It's not going to be how it was some young pieces here, veteran people, you know what I'm saying? It's not going to be like that no more. The league is changing, you know what I'm saying? The league is going to be changed in 10 years, you know what I'm saying? It's going to be different. These players coming up, they finna get $1 billion contracts because it's going to go up and up and up. People already getting $1 million now. Motherfuckers finna get $1 billion in like 5 years, 6, 7 years, 10 plus years. Players are gonna get $1 billion contract. Oh my God. Woo.
Don't even have a single player, let alone an entire roster this young getting minutes in the playoffs. So not only have the Thunder just put together one of the most complete and dominant seasons the league has ever seen, they did it about 4 years ahead of schedule. So what is next for a team that essentially checked off every single box in a season? The burden of proving they can do it again. Over the last few days, the word dynasty has been thrown around, what it means to be a dynasty and what it takes to build one. But if the current era of the NBA has taught us anything, it's that dynasties might just be a thing of the past. Every generation has seen at least one of these teams, whether it was the Celtics and the Lakers in the 80s, the Bulls of the 90s, the Lakers and Spurs in the 2000s, and the Warriors in the 2010s. And they have played a pivotal role throughout NBA history. At least they did, up until recently. Since 2019, the NBA has seen a different champion every year, 7 different teams across 7 seasons, the longest span of unique title winners in NBA history. As if winning a championship wasn't difficult enough, winning another one is magnitudes more difficult. And in recent times, it has become nearly impossible. With every team that shows signs of building something that will truly last, comes the stark reminder that it probably won't. Players seeking greener pastures, a championship run often bringing out the egos in everyone involved. They lose sight of the team. Sometimes it can simply be a logistical nightmare to keep a winning team together. Injuries can throw off.
I get it, but I feel like dynasties make stories better to where people hate that team so much that they want to see another team beat that team. Literally. We want to see that, but it's not going to come back because they want everybody, have a fair chance to win the title. That's why these small market teams are winning now. From the Nuggets, the Bucks, the Thunder, all these small market teams are winning now because I guess NBA, the CBA rule, to give everybody a chance to win. But the thing is, you can't keep everybody. So I'm saying that's the thing about the Thunder. Yes, but once they be eligible for a new contract, can't keep everybody. You know what I mean? Might gotta trade each player, you know what I mean?
Timelines, young players get too expensive, old players get even older, the mileage adds up, and the window closes a whole lot faster than you would ever expect. Which means one of two things is true. Either we are truly in the era of parity and analytics, the speed of information, modern day roster constructions, and the depth of talent has made it virtually impossible to build a lead on the competition, or there will be a dynasty of the 20s. We just haven't seen it yet, but we may be looking at one in the making. In a league where talent is a rotating door and assets are thrown around like cheap commodities, the Thunder have taken an unconventional route to a title, actually developing players and building from within. Roster continuity is an ever-increasing point of emphasis in the NBA today. Recent history has shown that the once viable method of building top-heavy super teams centered around a couple of superstar talents with little to no supporting cast was a failing model. The smartest organizations around the league shifted their focus away from acquiring top-end talent at any cost to the more traditional and sustainable model of developing players from within.
And that's why I said, with my Lakers, that after next season, they're done with LeBron. I feel like the Lakers are gonna go to where they're developing young pieces. I'm telling you right now. That's why I feel like they're not gonna trade Connect. They're not gonna trade Reeves. I feel like they want to build next to Luka. With my Lakers, I feel like they're trying to develop players. They're not trying to do this. I'm saying the league is going to where draft picks matter, to where they're gonna draft the young players and have them develop. Don't matter how many years it takes, have them develop. Like the Thunder. I'm telling you, the Thunder model, that's what teams and owners is gonna follow from draft picks. You know what I'm saying? That's how it's gonna be. I'm telling you.
Within and acquiring pieces based on fit rather than sheer talent. And no team has mastered the art of drafting, developing, and fit better than the Thunder have. Since 2019, the average roster continuity among championship teams, essentially how much a team stayed the same from one season to the next, was about 61%. That means, on average, 61% of these championship teams' minutes were filled by players from the previous season's roster. The 2025 Thunder had a roster continuity of 79%, meaning the vast majority of their minutes were played by guys who they purposefully built around rather than outsourcing. In this new era of deep, consistent rosters where chemistry and fit matter just as much as talent, the OKC Thunder have built the youngest, most continuous roster in the entire league, while being the best team in the league. But the anomalous nature of this team doesn't end there, because the Thunder's front office has built this team for the future. I think they would be the first to admit that this immense success, although part of the plan, was not expected to come this early. And evidence of this can be found here. Among the championship teams in this era of parity, the 2020 Lakers have had the lowest payroll, winning a title with just the 11th most expensive team in the league. These other rosters sitting well amongst the most expensive teams in the NBA at the time. This year's Thunder roster had the 25th highest payroll in the NBA.
And then that will go up. Why? Because checking get all this is going to go, unless they want to stay with each other and take pay cuts. They might take pay cuts because they actually fuck with each other. They might take pay cuts, but when that money comes, come on now, you for sure gonna take that. Come on now.
This team has their future growth already baked into the numbers. Where many teams of the past had to break up their core or watch key players walk away due to money, the Thunder are one of the cheapest rosters in the league, giving themselves room to offer the highest bid to anyone who may want to leave or inevitably be up for an extension. They say money can't buy championships, but it sure does help. Fortunately, the Thunder just won one of the cheapest rings in NBA history, but possibly the largest positive indicator for the future of this team, and a reflection of just how abnormal their accomplishments are, is the fact that they are the sole owner of the largest draft stockpile in the entire league, with 24 picks over the next 5 seasons. Now, this has been a big development over the last couple of seasons, just how good the Thunder are while sitting on 1 million picks. But the Thunder actually winning a championship changes everything and makes these assets look even more unbelievable. You want to see the cost of trying to win now? The teams that are highlighted represent the 8 teams that made it past the first round of the playoffs this season. Nearly all of them near the bottom of the league in terms of draft capital. Even more shocking, when we highlight the last 5 championship teams, they are the bottom 5 in the league in terms of future draft picks. Winning comes at a hefty price, a price that the Thunder managed to completely evade. Outside of OKC, the only team that made it out of the first round.
In the future, the Spurs gonna be good. The Wizards gonna be good again. The Knicks gonna be good again. Detroit, but I'm telling you right now, Detroit is already on its way. Detroit gonna be all these teams that you see that's young and they're trash, in the future, they're gonna be nice. The Hornets might be nice. Wizards, Portland, Nets, Spurs, Detroit, all them teams right there, Magic, all them teams are gonna be fucking up. Even the Bulls. Watch. All them teams is trying right now, couple years, niggas gonna be good.
While maintaining more than their fair share of draft picks,
talent.
Were the Pacers. Every other team that is within vicinity of OKC is nowhere near even competing for a championship right now. In fact, the only reason why a team should even have as much draft capital as the Thunder do is if they have essentially forfeited the next season or two in an attempt to rebuild. Meanwhile, the Thunder just completed one of the best seasons of all time while simultaneously building a gluttony of assets for the future. This is unheard of. Usually, in fact, almost always, you do not get to be good now and be good later. You have to go all in on one or the other. Except, of course, if you're Sam Presti and the Thunder and you are attempting to do what no team can seem to pull off, be the next great NBA dynasty. But as it stands, the 2025 Thunder have already defied the odds. A young, small market team that was built from homegrown talent, not only stamping their name in every record book, but cementing their legacy as NBA champions and doing it smarter, faster, and about as unlikely as any team ever has.
That's true, man. Y'all let me know what you think down below, man. Do y'all think we're seeing another dynasty, or do you think it's gonna be where they're gonna try a bunch of players like the Celtics did, man? Y'all know what's up, man. Like, sub, and all that, man. Run with the 2K dubs. Y'all know what's up, myself playing. Yes, sir.